Hello everybody, and welcome to a brand new episode of JAZZIZ Essentials. This is a series where we talk about songs, artists and events that gave rise to the music we know and love, jazz. I'm Matt Micucci, online editor of JAZZIZ, and on this episode we're going to be talking about John Coltrane's civil rights movement elegy, Alabama. The song first appeared on Live at Birdland, released in January 1964. This was Coltrane's second live album on Impulse, but despite the title, just 3 of its 5 tracks were actually recorded live at the New York Jazz Club, and Alabama was one of the 2 tracks that were recorded at the famed Van Gelder studio in New Jersey in November 1963. This was 3 months after the dramatic events surrounding the 16th Street Baptist Church bombing of September 15, 1963. On this tragic date, 4 members of the Ku Klux Klan planted at least 15 sticks of dynamite to a timed device beneath the front steps of the church in Birmingham, Alabama. The explosion killed 4 young girls and injured many others. This tragedy marked a major turning point in the civil rights movement. For Alabama, John Coltrane was inspired by a speech that Dr. Martin Luther King delivered in the church sanctuary 3 days after the bombing and patterned his saxophone playing on it. In fact, like the original speech, Coltrane's Alabama shifts its tone from one of mourning to one of renewed determination for the struggle against racially motivated crimes. The version recorded at the Van Gelder studio finds the saxophonist accompanied by the members of his classic quartet. So we're talking about McCoy Tyner on piano, Jimmy Garrison on bass, and Elvin Jones on drums. Months before the release of Live at Birdland, the quartet played Alabama on the National Educational Television Channel on an episode of Jazz Casual that aired on December 7, 1963. This appears to be the first time the public got to hear Alabama, which feels as powerful today as it did back then. Since the release of Live at Birdland, many critics have defined it as one of Coltrane's finest albums. No doubt his deeply affecting tribute to the 4 children killed in the 16th Street Baptist Church bombing in Birmingham, Alabama by white supremacists contributes to its legendary status. But this was not an isolated incident of John Coltrane challenging racial discrimination with his music. In fact, author Leonard Brown points out that as a black musician, he apprenticed in the daily struggles of black musicians on the road, and says that these cultural experiences were a part of his mentoring on the road and influenced the evolution of his conscious intent to use music as a force of goodness. The verity of this statement is reflected in John Coltrane's own words, as he once said, "My music is the spiritual expression of what I am, my faith, my knowledge, my being. When you begin to see the possibilities of music, you desire to do something really good for people, to help humanity free itself from its hang-ups. I want to speak to their souls." That's all for this episode of JAZZIZ Essentials. Thank you very much for joining me. If you liked the video, please consider liking it, sharing it, and also subscribing to our channel. Also, I urge you to check out jazziz.com, our regularly updated website with lots of great jazz-related content for both jazz enthusiasts to newbies who would just like to get into jazz. I also urge you to join me next week as we will continue to explore stories about songs, artists, and events that gave rise to the music we know and love, jazz. But till the next time, stay healthy, stay safe, stay strong.